It's finally happening. I've almost completely replaced my Windows laptop with the iPad Pro. A few weeks ago I put together my ultimate iPad workstation and I've been using it for at least 8 hours a day ever since. In this video, I'll show you how I work with the iPad daily, essentially replacing a desktop computer. So this is my iPad workstation, consisting of the 11-inch iPad Pro, a cool dock, a trackpad, a keyboard, a monitor, and other accessories. I've been working with exactly this setup for several weeks now, and I'm very happy with it. First, I got a new felt desk mat, so I'd have a nice, comfortable surface. The centerpiece is a tablet stand with a built-in dock that I found a while ago. The stand lets me prop up the iPad at any angle, and I usually have it slightly tilted directly in front of me so that I can occasionally use the touchscreen without much effort. I've linked all the accessories in the description below, of course. To prevent any cables from sticking out too much from the iPad, I got this right angle USB-C cable, which I use to connect the iPad to the dock. A USB-C cable is always attached to the dock, which is connected to a power adapter. That's how the tablet gets power. And Ethernet's also connected. That's right, I use wired internet mainly because it gives me fast access to our NAS. Since I have the NAS, I'm not currently using any external hard drives with the iPad. If I need one, I would plug it into one of the other USB ports of the dock. The dock also has slots for a full-size SD and a micro SD card. I also connected the Apple Magic trackpad with the USB-C cable. iPadOS just works significantly better with the trackpad than with a traditional mouse. And I think it'll be worth it for almost everybody to buy a trackpad additionally. It's truly more comfortable because iPadOS is a touch-first operating system after all. I've connected the Logitech K380 not with a cable but with Bluetooth, and I'm currently typing all my articles with it. I'll probably replace this keyboard with a mechanical one soon, but we need the mechanical one for another project right now. A Qi2 charging dock sits to the right of the trackpad, and I use it to charge my iPhone and other smartphones. I always use an iPhone and an Android phone simultaneously, and I buy these MagSafe cases for all Android phones too. My Xbox wireless controller is lying far on the left. I use it whenever I play a couple of games. I've connected my Sony MDR7506 studio headphones via the headphone jack on the dock. I mostly use these for watching YouTube, listening to podcasts, or checking our own videos for any mistakes that might have crept in. A monitor is also connected with an HDMI cable. It's a 27-inch Dell Ultra Sharp with 4K resolution and 120 Hz. It looks really sleek, and thanks to the IPS black technology, it gets quite close to an OLED. I've linked the exact model in the description below. I've positioned the monitor as ergonomically as possible, that is directly behind the iPad, slightly angled, and positioned so that the top edge is almost level with my eyes. I find this position with the iPad right below it the most comfortable. I'd place a laptop next to the monitor, but you occasionally need the touchscreen with an iPad. Originally, I didn't want to use the stand with the built-in dock. I just wanted to use the monitor. This Dell monitor has multiple USB ports built in and even an Ethernet port. My idea was I'll connect all the accessories to the monitor and then only the monitor to the iPad. That worked great on the first day, until I wanted to watch a video and the maximum volume came out of my headphones, which were plugged into the monitor. Way too loud. And I couldn't change the volume on the iPad, the monitor, or on the headphones. And suddenly I couldn't connect headphones via Bluetooth, or at least the sound didn't come out of them. Unfortunately, iPadOS still lacks proper audio management. You can't always easily select which connected speakers or headphones the sound comes from. It's a real shame, and with this Dell monitor, you also can't set it to not route audio through the monitor. My solution now is that I've connected a wired speaker to the monitor. I can control the speaker volume on the speakers themselves, but not on the iPad. And I plug in my wired headphones through the dock when I need them. When I do that, the iPad automatically switches to the headphones, and then I can control the volume on the iPad. It sounds a bit complicated, and I hope you can follow it somewhat. Ultimately, it's just that iPadOS still doesn't have the full features of a desktop operating system like Windows or macOS, because it wasn't originally meant to be one. I've removed all apps from the iPad's home screen and put the ones I use frequently in the dock. All others are in the app library, and I open them via search when needed. On the home screen itself, I've just got a whole series of widgets that are always visible. I've added a simple clock with widget Smith, as well as another widget that shows me when the sun sets. That's the best time to take photos, and photography is my hobby, and I also like to take photos for our smartphone reviews at that time. Below that sits Apple's simple weather widget, and on the right, the standard Apple Calendar widget displayed large. Here, I'm always seeing my appointments for the next few days. In the bottom middle, I've got the Gemini widget because that's the AI I'm using most often right now. And very conveniently in the bottom right, there's a calculator as a widget. I've linked that one too, of course, and I find it very useful to have one constantly open on the touchscreen. I use it all the time. On the iPad, I either have the home screen open or I've got Gmail, Slack, or WhatsApp open there. I also open Lightroom on the tablet because I occasionally use the Apple Pencil here. Most of the time though, it's just that home screen with those widgets. Safari, YouTube, Canva, Feedly, and other apps I use on the larger monitor. Some iPad apps are pretty poor desktop apps. I must mention Photoshop here first and foremost. It works great as an iPad app, but as soon as a monitor and the trackpad are connected, the app goes crazy. When I use Photoshop on the iPad, I disconnect the tablet from the dock for that time and just use the touchscreen and the pencil. Google Drive, Docs, Sheets, and YouTube Studio are also poor desktop apps. It's much better to uninstall these and instead just call them up as web apps on the browser. That works wonderfully, just like on Windows or macOS, and that's how I work with those apps daily. There are still a few things you have to consider compared to a desktop operating system. For example, you can't play two audio sources simultaneously. So listening to music in the background and briefly checking in on your news video at the same time isn't possible. Oh well, it's not that bad. I can handle most works wonderfully on the iPad Pro, and it works surprisingly well thanks to iPadOS 26 and this setup. But I still got a Windows laptop on my desk for a few tasks. I don't use it daily, but occasionally. It's quite sad that I can't access the interface of the payroll service we use with the mobile versions of Safari or Chrome. I tried everything and it won't work. Also, the drag and drop feature of the newsletter service we use doesn't work on the iPad, not with touch and not with the mouse. I've got to boot up Windows for that too. It's a shame that a lot is possible with the iPad, but not everything. We'll see if that changes over time or if I'll change some of my workflows. If you're also thinking about buying an iPad, you absolutely have to check out our Ultimate iPad Buying Guide. In that video, we go through all iPads from the basic iPad to the iPad mini to the iPad Pro, and you will find out when it's worth getting which model.